Hey guys, so I'm going to, after I do my spiel, I'm going to play a video for y'all that has gotten over 54 million views on Instagram, almost 15,000 comments, and almost 900,000 likes. I never expected this video to go that far, but what it is a video of me reversing into my driveway and my neighbor in a black truck driving behind me as I'm reversing, and me hitting him. So the reason I'm posting this is just as like an update to the whole thing, the whole shebang. I'm gonna play the video, and then I'm gonna give you details of everything that happened that led up to the Fender Bender event, and then I'm gonna tell you what we did and where I'm at now. And I'll also show you a video of the damage on the back of the Skyline. It's not horrible, but you know, damage is damage. But yeah, I'm gonna play the video for y'all. So, what did y'all think? Yeah, so here's what happened. So I had the Skyline parked up against the garage and I had the Tesla parked in front of it. I needed to swap both of those cars and have the Skyline parked up against the street and the Tesla parked up against the garage because I needed to charge the Tesla and I was gonna take the Skyline out. Well, so my husband, Philip, was driving the Tesla for me and I was driving the Skyline. So he moved the Tesla into the street on the curb, aired up the Skyline, moved it as well into the street against the curb, and then he moved the Tesla up against the garage in the driveway. And as I was going to move the Skyline into the driveway, I looked, there was no one coming. There was no one coming from this direction, no one coming from the other direction along the perpendicular road, because I live on a corner house. So here's my house right here. This is the road that I live on. This is the road perpendicular. There was no one coming this way and no one coming this way. So, and I was parked right here, if that makes any sense. But anyways, so no one was coming either directions, so I left the curb, drove up, drove towards my neighbor's house to get into the reversing position to reverse into my driveway. It's a 34-year-old car with a 34-year-old transmission, so of course it doesn't like to go into reverse all the time. So I had to pump the clutch a few times, finally got it into reverse, and as I was reversing into my driveway, that's when my neighbor in the black truck appeared. Didn't see him because I was looking out my right-hand mirror at the curb to make sure I didn't curb rash my wheels as I was going into my driveway. He came from the perpendicular road and drove behind me as I was reversing, and because I didn't see him, I reversed into him. There's also huge blind spots on the rear quarters of the Skyline that do not help at all. And also me being short does not help at all either. But those are excuses. I should have looked in my mirrors better. I should have looked in my left-hand mirror and my rear view mirror as well, because I saw that it was clear doesn't mean that it's going to stay clear the roadway. Because it took me probably about 10 to 15 seconds to get it to actually go into reverse. And once I finally got into reverse and started backing up, that was plenty of time, I guess, for a car to come from the perpendicular road and, you know, drive behind me. He was really young. I feel like he was probably a new driver. I can't speak for him. I don't know, you know, what he was thinking whenever he saw me diagonal in the road. I guess he thought maybe as I was trying to put my car into reverse, maybe that's when he saw me and thought I was trying to let him go. It's very possible. I have no idea though. But after I backed into his truck and he reversed out of the way, I got out of my car and I ran up to his truck and I was like, and he was like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yes." And I said, "Are you okay?" And he said, "Yes." And I'm like, "I'm so sorry." And then I started looking at the damage on his truck, and it was my paint scuffed onto his bumper. And then I looked at my car and saw the scrape on the back where I was missing paint. We both kind of, you know, just went on our own way after that. I've seen him a few times since then. I think but I don't see him often, so maybe his parents live here and maybe he's off to college and he visits every once in a while. Maybe he does live here full time. I'm not sure. I don't even know his name. But I do know he was very young, so very possible a new driver. But honestly, I've been driving for, how long have I been driving for? 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 years? And I should have expected the unexpected and looked in all my mirrors. But you know, shit happens. Shit happens. And sometimes when shit happens, you just have to learn lessons the hard way. And that's what I did. I learned lessons the hard way. I learned 2 lessons. Always look in your mirrors. Even if it's clear, at one point it may not still be clear. And the second one is expect the unexpected. Even if you don't expect anyone to drive behind you while you're reversing, expect it anyways, because it may happen, just like it happened to me. But yeah, so I wanted to give you all this update and let y'all know that this is what the back of my car looks like. So here's a video of what the scrape mark on the back of my Skyline looks like. It's not horrible. It did scrape the paint completely off. I do have some touch-up paint. I may just paint over it with the touch-up paint and call it a day. I feel like it's more trouble than it's worth to try to get the rear bumper off the car to have it completely repainted. So I'm just gonna touch it up for now, and when it starts bothering me later down the road, then I'll take the rear bumper off and actually get it repainted. But this is just what I'm gonna do for now. But yeah, I hope this was informative of you know, what happened and where I'm at now with it. But if you like this video, please subscribe, and I'll post, you know, more things about my life with all my cars. But yeah, it was good talking to y'all.